Sitting right here in my chair, throwing my headphones on to record this explainer for you all today, I realized something. I had just gone through the exact same sequence of morning steps I do literally every single day. And that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. We're exploring the fascinating, sometimes rigid structure of our daily routines and uncovering what actually happens when our modern digital safety nets are just suddenly stripped away. We all have a rhythm to our days, right? But how often do we really stop to examine it? So let's break down the mechanics of our habits and see what happens when the predictable script of our day gets completely tossed out the window.
So take a quick second. Think about your own schedule today. How much of your day is just running on pure autopilot? And what exactly is driving those daily habits? Well, whether we realize it or not, our lives are basically just this giant series of repeated actions, stitched together from the absolute second we open our eyes to the moment we finally close them at night.
And you know, the ordinary world of almost every routine starts looking exactly like this. We've got these universal, foundational habits. Waking up to that loud alarm, dragging ourselves out of bed to get dressed, and then having breakfast to fuel up for the day. Honestly, it doesn't even matter who you are. These core activities form the baseline of the human morning. It's the launchpad for literally everything else we do.
Now, just as our mornings launch us into the world, our evening routines kind of anchor us back down. This is the wind-down phase we're all familiar with. Going out to grab a few necessities, intentionally unwinding, maybe just chilling in a quiet room with a really good book, and finally, drifting off to sleep. These are the classic bookends of our daily lives.
But here's a super interesting little fact. When we talk about all these daily actions, human language actually relies on a very specific grammatical engine, the present simple tense. The setup is totally straightforward. You take a subject, add a base verb, and boom, you get I wake up at 7. Or if we're talking about someone else, we just slap an S or ES on there, making it she goes shopping on weekends. We use this exact structure constantly because, well, it's the fundamental way we communicate the undeniable recurring facts of our everyday existence.
All right, let's jump right into part 1, the extreme early birds, and look at how individuals completely customize their morning structures.
Okay, so we all get the same 24 hours, but the way we slice them, it's wild. Take the incredibly intense morning of a student named Alex. At 5 a.m., while let's be real, most of the world is deeply asleep, he's already out going for a walk and then taking a cold shower to totally jumpstart his system. He uses those super quiet early hours to study in a private library his dad built. By the time he's even dropped off at school for his 8 a.m. classes, Alex has basically knocked out a full day's worth of personal development.
And when we contrast these different schedules, we start seeing massive variations in how people spend their free time once the standard school or workday wraps up. Take Mark. He gets out of school at 2 p.m. and just zeroes in on his passion. He hops on a bus straight to the sports center to play basketball before heading home. But then look over at Sophia. She's got a completely different drive. At 6 p.m. sharp, she dedicates a full 2 hours of her evening to teaching neighborhood kids subjects like math and science purely because she loves it. Two completely different worlds, right?
And then we have Nicole, who honestly offers a masterclass in hitting a perfectly balanced routine. At 5 p.m., she gets her workout in at a dance club. Then she shifts gears to prioritize family, having dinner together and staying to help her mom wash the dishes. After all that, she keeps up with her social life online before finally logging off to relax with some sci-fi and fantasy novels right before her 10:30 p.m. bedtime. It's like the perfect mix.
Which brings us to part 2, a day without screens, focusing on the disruption of the modern digital routine.
Now, we have seen just how comfortable a day can be when everything goes perfectly according to plan. But enter Tom. Tom experiences what is arguably the ultimate modern nightmare. He steps outside his house, hears the door click shut, and instantly realizes he's locked out. His keys are inside. And the absolute kicker, his mobile phone is sitting right there on the other side of that locked door. With his roommate out until late, his entire predictable daily routine is just instantly obliterated.
So suddenly, totally stripped of his digital safety net, Tom has to adapt on the fly. He quickly realizes, wait, I can't just tap a screen and call an Uber. He can't even check what time it is. He actually has to walk down to a physical bus stop to figure out how to get to the library. Instead of just pulling up a transit app, he's forced to read the actual printed sign to decode the schedule, buy a physical paper ticket, and go grab a window seat. He's literally forced to interact with the physical world in a way he probably hasn't done in years.
When Tom finally does manage to navigate his way to the library, he walks into an environment built entirely around one single concept: focus. It is a space strictly meant for reading and studying, with absolutely zero noise. Without a phone buzzing in his pocket to distract him, he's forced to truly, deeply pay attention to his surroundings. There's no endless scrolling. He can only observe and just be present.
And, this forced presence actually leads to a massive realization for him. Looking out the window of that bus earlier, actually noticing the trees and the architecture, Tom realizes that this view is genuinely far better than staring down at a tiny glowing screen. Despite his initial panic and nervousness, he makes this profound observation. Without a phone, you can see the world. The entire disruption of his routine actually opened his eyes to an environment he normally just ignores. As his completely unplugged day progresses, and the sky fades into this beautiful orange and pink sunset, his anxiety fully melts away into this amazing Zen-like state. He admits to feeling a bit lost, sure, but more importantly, he feels free. He says peaceful is the right word. I feel free and happy. It's such a beautiful demonstration of how breaking a rigid, digitally dependent routine can actually bring us an unexpected, profound sense of peace.
And this deep, focused awareness of the physical world, it links directly to another incredible story from our sources, a conversation between Adrakor and Kansake about a man named Larbi. Now, Larbi is a visually impaired man who navigates his daily routines with this profound level of independence. He washes and hangs his own clothes, and he actually refuses help simply because he loves the motions. Without his sight, he pays intense, sharp attention to the world through his other senses, using sound and smell to perceive the exact presence of the people around him. It is just an incredibly powerful testament to what it means to be completely physically present in your everyday habits.
So, considering just how heavily we all rely on our digital devices to maintain the rhythm of our lives, and seeing the absolute, unexpected peace it brought to Tom when he suddenly lost his, I want to leave you with this final thought. If your perfectly planned routine was suddenly disrupted today, could you survive? And better yet, could you actually find peace in 24 hours without your phone? Honestly, it's something to really think about the next time you feel like your daily routine is running you instead of you running it. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today. I'll catch you next time.